This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of Latin Metals, Mr. Keith Henderson. Keith, never a dull moment. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm really great. Thanks. Good to hear from you.
It's great to have you back on. The last time that you and I chatted, we spoke about the quality of the partners that you've been able to attract to joint venture, good portions of the Latin Metals portfolio. It's an extensive portfolio. You boast a number of majors on those properties, joint ventures on those properties, and there was just an update on Barrick Gold's exploration activities on a project in Argentina. So I thought I'd have you on and just get your take on the exploration activities thus far.
Yeah, so that news release today, as you said, was a Barrick update. They give us data every quarter, let us know what they've been doing, give us the results of the work that they've been doing. So we just took the opportunity to drop that onto a couple of maps, throw it into a news release, let everybody know what's going on. That's a deal that we signed up. It must have been around the middle of Q2 this year, and Barrick wasted no time in getting on the ground. They've established themselves there with a camp. They've had a whole bunch of their geos on the ground working, and they've done a lot of work. They've done over 1,000 line kilometers of ground mag. They've done some really detailed mapping across the entire property, and they've taken rock samples across the structures that they think are going to be prospective for gold and silver mineralization. So what that news release today kind of summarizes that, and it presents a map that shows the rock sampling results and kind of highlights. You can see pretty clearly there's some bigger circles on the map, and you can see where the hot areas are that we would expect them to be focusing on. As far as we know, Barrick are going to be drilling Q1, Q2 next year. That's also the same kind of timeline for AngloGold Ashanti, who are working with us on different projects in northern Argentina. And we think it's also the same kind of timeline for Libero Copper, who are going to be drilling our Esperanza copper gold discovery. And so, yeah, it's going to be unbelievably busy. Like, we think we're going to potentially, we have all three projects drilling at the same time. And that's going to be pretty astonishingly interesting time for us just to see what comes out of those drill tests.
Listen, I don't think it's a coincidence that since the last time we spoke, the share price is up some 30%. And it's not because of our conversation. It's because I believe people are starting to realize that we're likely headed into a 2023 that's going to provide a really, really positive gold environment, a really positive copper environment. And look, Latin Metals, for a company with a minuscule market cap, has a lot of shots on goal. And the shots on goal aren't being taken by small time players. They're being taken by some of the majors that you mentioned. Anything else that you'd like to add to that, Keith?
Really, not really. It's you're right. Like, people are watching what we're doing. Like, you would expect at this time of the year to see stocks under pressure a little bit with tax law selling and things. We're really not seeing that pressure. We're seeing the stock sitting pretty steady and moving upwards, which is really great. We're seeing buying, where other companies might be expecting to see selling, and I think that bodes really well for next year. Like, when we get into January, we're just going to have so much news coming. Like, we've got about 35 news releases planned for next year, and they're going to be kind of spread through the year. But it's going to be very consistent news and lots going on. And I think, with the broad database of people we now have that are following the company and the people who are getting our news, it's thousands and thousands of people. Lots of people engage with us and watching what we're doing, and we start to put this news out there into hopefully a happier market in January, February. I think we'll hope to see some real traction.
Well, let's be absolutely clear. Everybody's in this for a major discovery, but here's what I really love about the model that Latin Metals is executing. If the discovery doesn't come to the scale or expectation of a company like Barrick, you get to retain all of this data that's being accumulated. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, and these companies, they have such high hurdle rates. You're exactly right. Like, Anglo Gold as one of the world's biggest gold producing companies, they're looking for 5 to 10 million ounce discovery, and those kinds of discoveries, they come very rarely. We would expect to see in the world maybe 25 of those in a 10-year period. So let's say maybe they find something pretty interesting, but it doesn't really reach those kind of heady heights, then it's entirely possible that these companies just walk from the project and say, this isn't for us, and that leaves us with significant resources that for us as a company of our size would be very, very significant.
It's a great model. You're executing it brilliantly. 35 news releases here in 2023 should be a lot of conversations between you and I. I'll let you get back to it, Keith. Thank you so much for that update.
Super. Thanks a million. Cheers.
Cheers. Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.